As I continue to work on the interpretation of the monomyths in Genesis, the one I'm approaching next is Abram, and it's going to be incredibly interesting and fun. At the end of the day, if you look at that story, what you would walk away with is the idea that God blessed Abram, and then because of a famine in the land, Abram, out of fear, whored his wife to Pharaoh, got some possessions, including female slaves. Pharaoh, the hero, finds out later, "This is your wife? You idiot, take her and all of your possessions and get out of here." So here we have Abram, who turns into Abraham, who is going to be one of the three that is, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and I don't recall. The issue that we have here, though, is that this is somebody chosen by God who then, what is that story? How does one reconcile that? I've done some Googling and looking around, and I'm embarrassed to say that people just are not interpreting that in any way. They think it's real. I've listened to some Jewish people saying, "I don't know why he did it, but that's the way it was. That's the way, we weren't there. We don't know what life was like back then." So they're justifying that as really having happened, and then basing this is the foundation of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. I'm astounded. It's just, okay, let's take a look at that in this video. My name is Dan Paulson. Welcome. We're going through a few things, and the first thing that I want to say here in this video, we've established that the first, from creation up to the flood, is a human life template. And then Noah getting called and going through the flood is the first self-healing template. We are Noah. We're the ones go on the trip. That's covered elsewhere. Somehow this is going to do the same thing, but let's take a read and see what there is here. Talk about a couple of things. I don't want to interpret it right now. What I'm going to do is just put out an idea, get people thinking, kind of like homework. Ponder this, try to figure this out. There's something fun going on in here, but it's, okay. Let's just read a little bit of this right here. It starts at chapter 12, the call of Abram. Now the Lord said to Abram, "Go from your country and your kindred and your father's house," so leave everything behind, "to a land that I will show you. I'm going to bring you to a whole new place. I will make of you a great nation." Now pay attention to that. I will make of you a great nation. It doesn't say I will make for you a great nation. There's something going on here to pay attention to. These play out in the psyche. This is telling us that it is us. It is the nation. The nation is our life, our experience. That's an analogous term that means our life experience. "I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and the one who curses you I will curse, and in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed." So we have a calling right there, and we also have, if you're following along, we have a cause and effect. Did you recognize karma in there? Or the measure you mete unto others will be likewise meted unto you. "I will bless those who bless you, and the one who curses you I will curse." There it is. So Abram went as the Lord had told him, and Lot went with him. Abram was 75 years old when he departed from Haran. Abram took his wife Sarai and his brother's son Lot and all the possessions that they had gathered and the persons whom they had acquired in Haran, and they set forth to go to the land of Canaan. When they had come to the land of Canaan, Abram passed through the land to the place of Shechem, to the oak of Moreh. Interesting. The oak of Moreh. There's a tree at the end of the world. At the time, the Canaanites were in the land. Then the Lord God appeared to Abram and said, "To your offspring I will give this land." So he built there an altar to the Lord who appeared to him. From there he moved on to the hill country on the east of Bethel and pitched his tent, and Bethel on the west and Ai on the east. And there he built an altar to the Lord and invoked the name of the Lord. And Abram journeyed on by stages toward Negeb. By stages, steps, moving from one place to another incrementally. Okay, there's the fun part. Abram and Sarai. Let's just read through this real quick. Now there was a famine in the land, so wherever he ended up going, there's nothing there. So Abram went down to Egypt to reside there as an alien, for the famine was severe in the land. Pay attention, it said famine in the land 2 times. It's pointing to something. We got to find it. When he was about to enter Egypt, he said to his wife Sarai, "I know well that you are a beautiful woman in appearance, and when the Egyptians see you, they will say, 'This is his wife.' Then they will kill me, but they will let you live. Say that you are my sister, so that it may go well with me because of you, and that my life may be spared on your account. So right here, he's scared that he's going to get killed because she's his beautiful wife. When Abram entered, and so he's asking her to lie on his behalf. Don't tell him you're my wife. Tell him you're my sister. He's afraid right there. He's scared. When he's scared for his life. When Abram entered Egypt, the Egyptians saw that the woman was very beautiful. When the officials of Pharaoh saw her, they praised her to Pharaoh. So there, hey, Pharaoh, hot chick out here. And the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. And for her sake, he dealt well with Abram. And he had sheep, oxen, male donkeys, male and female slaves, female donkeys, and camels. But the Lord afflicted Pharaoh with his house and great plagues because of Sarai, Abram's wife. So Pharaoh called Abram and said, "What is this you have done to me? Why did you not tell me that she was your wife? Why did you say she is my sister, so that I took her for my wife? Now then, here is your wife, take her and be gone." And Pharaoh gave his men orders concerning him, and they set him on the way with his wife and all that he had. You're chosen by God. I got a beautiful wife. I'm afraid they're going to kill me because of you. Tell them you're my sister. Go hang out with them. I'm going to get sheep, oxen, camels, stuff like that. Female slaves. Ooh, go ahead and do your thing. And when Pharaoh, who's the good guy, finds out what I did, he's going to get pissed at me, give you back, and we'll go on our way. What the hell is that? That's what that story says right there. All right, so as far as looking at it historically, I won't even go there. That's the carrier shell. This is where we're going to really look at how the story is, metaphorically, the ark. And there's something inside of it. And we want to know what's inside there. This is on a template. This is held on a template. But the story and the structure is being, it's a storytelling culture. It's being put out in the population for a number of reasons. Okay, how do we reconcile this story? What we have to talk about is the complex nature of the analogs. And I'm finding more and more as I move along, because there's times I read something and go, I have no clue what that means. And then I think about it, and you play it around in your mind, and pretty soon you go, okay, I do see what they're doing. And you know what they're doing? They can make the analogous verbiage sound good or sound bad, like something desirable or undesirable. Sometimes, I've talked about it before, there's direct correlations. You can say, I need to eat something. And in the physical world, that means you're hungry. In the spiritual world, if you say, I need to eat something, that means I need to learn something. I need an answer. I got a void here. I need to consume what I need right now that's going to fulfill me. That means learn what you need that makes you resolve your issues. Something to that effect. Okay. That directly relates. If you're fasting in the physical world, that means you're not eating food. If you're fasting in the spiritual world, that means you're shutting off to the world. Fasting to the world just means, we don't wire to it. When you're watching all the things going on, we're affected by those things. We're not doing anything except being caught up in it. So we're not separating from it. It's important to get there. You could use a different analog, though, like clothing, being covered. You could say that I am naked in public. And in the physical world, normally that's going to be a bad thing. We don't want to be naked in public. No. So we might think, as we're reading the story, if Noah is naked in his tent and drinking wine, that's a bad thing. When in all reality, that's not true. In the spiritual world, drinking wine and having that new feeling after the flood means that I've resolved something. I have a new life now. I have consumed something that makes me feel better, and now I am stripped naked of it. That was a good thing. But it sounds like, oh my gosh, we got to cover him back up. Okay, and as that story ended, Ham was the father of Canaan. Ham was the one that's supposed to take over, and Ham was the one that told his other brothers to cover up the father. So Ham would have represented our new self that was carrying the Canaan, the promised land. But it didn't take over. Instead, we gave back into the covering back up because we have more issues to resolve. What's going to emerge is that there's no way to dump this at one point in time, that you must continually go in and resolve these issues that we have. Every time something comes up, you have to work it out. There's no way to just do a spiritual lobotomy. You have to go after the things that continue to emerge. They're stored as a memory and an emotional state. And That's why you can't just wipe it out. I would recommend as an example, I'll just cover it very quickly here. There's a Greek myth about Prometheus, and you can go look it up. There's a lot of videos on it, but basically, if you're not familiar with it, in the beginning, there's Zeus, the main god. There's other gods. Prometheus is one of a couple of gods who is tasked with creating all the animals and assigning them a talent. And in the end, man is made, and there's nothing left for man. And in the end, what happens is Prometheus decides that this primitive creature that is humans needs to advance and become more than just like an animal. And so he gives them fire. And so humanity advances and becomes the ruler of all. Zeus gets mad, takes it away. Prometheus, there's this issue that goes on that's continually repeated. And finally, Zeus punishes, allows man to continue, but punishes Prometheus by having an eagle eat out his liver every day. And the Greeks thought that the liver was the seat of emotion. So this idea of this eagle eating out your liver, and then it grows back it depends on the myth, a week, a month, something like that. It would eat out the liver, very painful, and then come back and do it again. And so the story is like Zeus was really not okay, trying to keep people in primitive form. But actually, the way it fits on the template, and if you look at it, in the Bible, there's a point where they're talking about tents and music, and people that play lyres are descended from here or there. In all of the template, there's a part where time goes by, life goes on. We begin to experience life, first sin, whatever you want to call it. There's a point where we begin to emerge as conscious creatures judging life, unaware that we're doing that, and becoming products of what we're judging, without realizing that we're doing that. Everybody does that, or most people do. The people that need to go on this trip that find the path. But if you look around, most people do that. They become more and more products. So that the idea right there of giving fire and human advancing fits on the template in the same place where humans go from an infant self, the Adam and Eve. The way the Greeks are holding it as that primitive part is like an infant part, an Adam and Eve part, naked, unashamed in the garden. And giving them fire meant giving them physical world experiences. Now and you're coming back and doing it again. Now it's actually an issue. So it's written in such a way that you go, wow, oh my gosh, Prometheus was a good guy and Zeus was bad, when actually it depends on the perspective. It's perspective. And the same thing is going to happen when we get into trying to interpret this. Perspective is going to be an issue. We have to find a way that this is a desirable thing to occur, or something that is naturally going to occur, while all these component parts are in the psyche. This, I'm going to suggest, is the precursor to Exodus. It's like a simple version. However, instead of Pharaoh being the bad guy, Pharaoh's the good guy. Same thing's happening. Depends on which side of the story you're reading it from. Who's the historian? Yeah, they got it all flipped up. Pay attention to that. That's all I wanted to say here. It's coming up. It's fun. I'm not quite ready to do it yet. I've got some other things going on. But I just wanted you to think about that, because I look at that one and go, yeah, that one is kind of, when that one kind of starts blowing things up, you have to approach that a lot differently than I've been doing so far. We have to start understanding that as we get to the template, we cannot be attached to the way the story sounds. It might sound good or bad. We have to detach from that when we're looking for the template. Okay, that's all I had to say in this video. And look forward to the other one. I do. If you have any comments, questions, or ideas, feel free to post them below. I'm looking forward to it. All right, love one another. See you on that one.